We got Dodgers-Padres Game 2, and the scriptwriters cooked with this one. Shohei had his first big postseason moment in his first postseason game, unsurprisingly, as the Dodgers held on to a Game 1 win, but the Padres immediately came out swinging and robbing in Game 2. Fernando Tatis Jr. would send the fifth pitch of the game into straightaway left for a home run, and in the very bottom half of the inning, Mookie Betts would give one a ride out, and what he and everyone originally thought tied the game at 1, only for that to not be the case because our main protagonist of this video, or one of them, Jurickson Profar out in left field, caught the ball. And the reason everyone was confused at first was because he duped us all. Hell, even the Fox broadcast played the home run graphic as Mookie rounded the bases, but no, Profar reached over, catches this ball just out of the reach of these fans, and he's fired up, hopping and looking right at one of the fans, it looks like, who tried to snag it. So everyone's like, wait, what? And Profar's just like, got him, having a grand old time trolling the fans, who of course now view him as public enemy number 1, and this is important setup for a plot point that develops later. The Padres come up to bat again, and David Peralta, who was a Dodger a year ago, smacks a 2-run homer into center field to make it 3-0. And as you'll later see, a lot of balls were smacked in this game, just like you should be smacking that subscribe button if you haven't yet and enjoy the video. The Dodgers put up what seemed like a promising rally immediately after, only for it to end in the blink of an eye, and after this, both offenses took a break for a few innings as nobody would score for 3 innings, but the tensions between these two teams did not at all take a break. They were only building. Those 3 scoreless innings were there to brew it all up, and it's the 6th inning when things started blowing up. So Fernando Tatis Jr. leads off the 6th, Padres still up 3-1, Jack Flaherty, not to be mistaken for Jack Doherty, is on the mound, and the second pitch smokes Tatis in the lower thigh area, and Tatis is like, he's kind of pissed off and slowly makes his way to first. And if anyone sitting at home thinks they can easily get in that batter's box and take a baseball like that, well, here's a good view of it. Bam! Any brave souls want to do that? Profar comes up next and bunts, lays down a good one for a hit, and I'm sure Flaherty found this annoying. So 2 on, nobody out now. Up comes Manny Machado, and he throws a fastball down the dick that Manny fouls away. That was his pitch, and he missed it. Next is a slider low and away in the dirt. Another slider, but now for a strike. Manny doesn't bite at the low and away slider again. Flaherty is like, okay, what do I do? All right, let me try and paint a fastball. He does it and just misses for ball 3. Manny nods his head. Flaherty then starts nodding a little like, okay, tries the same thing again, but this time yanks the fastball a little more off the plate outside, but Manny swings at it this time, comes up with nothing, and Flaherty's fired up, immediately gesturing for Manny to walk away and sit down, and on the replay you can clearly see him say, sit the bleep down, mother bleeper. Manny didn't actually see him say this or gesture anything in real time, I don't think, but he soon found out and started chirping a little out at Flaherty, who was now walking off the mound. His night was done. At least on the mound it was, because after Jackson Merrill drove Tatis home to make it 4-1, when the next half inning began with Manny now at third base and Flaherty in the dugout, the two kept yelling at each other. And during this shouting match, Manny took inspiration from Willy Adames and invited Flaherty to a fight outside.
You want forgiveness? Get religious.
Hopefully Manny doesn't follow in Adames' footsteps in the way the Brewers season ended. Too soon? Sorry, Brewers fans. Now, according to Flaherty after the game, in his words, Manny did some shit in between innings and apparently threw a ball at their dugout or something, and what we saw was the tail end of that. And maybe it was the tail end of that specifically, those two yelling at each other for now, but the drama was just beginning. Dodgers go 1-2-3 to end the 6th, and so do the Padres to begin the 7th. And that's when shit hit the fan. When the game came back from commercial break, Profar was in left field, clearly amped up about something, and then all of a sudden a baseball comes flying out of the stands at him. So he's beyond pissed. The umpires are all coming together and calming him down along with his Padres teammates. Padres manager Mike Schilt walks out, and he even directs some anger toward the bleachers. everyone's just trying to calm Profar down, and he does calm down enough to go back out to left, as the umpires and stadium security are trying to figure out the best way to handle this. And during all of this, Yu Darvish is warming up. And it's a tricky spot for him, obviously, because you don't want your pitcher throwing too many warm-up pitches, but you also don't want him standing around for too long, so his arm gets cold. Then all of a sudden, beer cans start flying out on the field, but now in right, where Fernando Tatis Jr. is, and he's not at all mad. He just finds it ridiculous and amusing, having an absolute blast. Security now goes out and gets the Padres outfielders in and away from the warning track, so everyone is walking back in again. And here's Yu Darvish, just like, oh my god, come on, are you serious? Americans are crazy. Not too long after all the security and umpires and players meet, they all dispatch their respective jobs, including the security that now practically surrounds the field. And after all that, finally, Darvish can throw a damn pitch and this game can continue. He works around a leadoff walk, and before the 8th, that's when Manny Machado took inspiration from David Ortiz to hold a quick team meeting in the dugout. He really took a lot of inspiration from players past and present in this game. So he gets everyone huddled together for a little rah-rah speech, and I would try to pull a Manny by pulling inspiration from someone, with that someone for me being John Boy, and figure out what Manny was saying, but I actually don't need to do that because I'm pretty sure we have audio of what was said. Listen.
I'm just saying, you can't let it bring you down. You just got to believe in yourself, and you pull yourself together, you get right back on the horse.
This makes you want to run through a brick wall, so it should come as no surprise that the Padres went off after this. Despite 2 straight outs to begin the inning, the speaker himself would then knock a single in the center before Jackson Merrill took the first pitch he saw over the left field wall for a 2-run shot. It's 6-1 now. New pitcher in for the Dodgers, and up comes Xander Bogaerts for the Padres, who feels a little something in his hamstring after fouling a pitch back. That's not ideal, so he gets taken out of the game at shortstop for the rest of it, but not before hitting a home run to go back-to-back with Merrill and taking inspiration from Kirk Gibson by limping around the base. Okay, what is it with the Padres players taking inspiration from all these people? Hey, if it works, it works, I guess. Tatis continues to act like a little kid the first time he ever went to a ballpark, just having the time of his life making fun of the fans.
Gotta make pitches.
I wanted to point something else out, though. Before those homers, when Profar was up, the first pitch was a ball inside that he checked his swing on, but he also loses his balance and falls to the ground. And when he does, look at this kid behind home plate being so obnoxious. Aw, a little baseball was thrown at you in the outfield? Take that, loser. Bro just does not care. Dodgers don't do anything in the 8th. Ohtani strikes out for the second time in this game to go 0 for 4 as Major League Baseball is drier than a desert, while the Padres offense was wetter than Victoria Falls, capping off a wild night with 2 more home runs, with the cherry on top being the second, which was off the bat of Tatis for his second home run of the night. I mean, this night couldn't have ended more perfect if you're the Padres. I highly doubted the Dodgers were going to go into San Diego up 2-0 in this series. The Padres are too damn good, and this series, the 3rd postseason series between these two teams since 2020, just feels like it's destined to be tight. So I would say the general outcome of this game, at least to me, was expected, but the way we got to that outcome was not at all expected. Even though it was a 10-2 final, it was such an intense game, and only Lord knows what that environment will be like in San Diego for Game 3. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.